Hi, Martha. Thank you for coming today. I'm so glad you came back. I'm really grateful. So today what we're going to be doing is I want to introduce to you a skill, or you can say an intervention, that I believe would best benefit you based on your whole situation and everything that you're experiencing right now, your symptoms of depression, you feeling low energy, you explain that sometimes you feel worthless, you not being able to socialize with others. So basically how these symptoms have been impairing your ability to do things that you used to like you used to be like socializing with friends, and you taking care of your dad, something really important to you, and you're struggling right now even getting up to work, and not it's just been affecting you a lot. So I feel like this intervention would best it'd be the best skill right now to be able to help you progress and just do better. What do you think? Would you be interested?
Yes, it sounds like it would benefit me.
Okay, great. So before we start, I actually want to first explain to you the intervention, basically what it is and what we're going to be doing, and then just let me know if you're okay with it. How does that sound?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so basically what we're going to be doing, it's called cognitive restructuring, and I know it sounds very like extreme, but no, nothing to worry about. Basically what it is a way of changing our way of thinking. It's a self-talk to teach us how to think in a more positive outlook. What I did notice about you is that you tend to have a lot of negative thoughts, and what we can call them self-defeating thoughts. These are thoughts that are very hurtful towards you. They're negative. They may not be real. They may not be realistic, and they're just affecting the way you think about yourself. Just your thought process, the way you feel emotionally, even the way you feel physically. And whenever you have these thoughts, I notice that you tend to get like anxious, or you get worried. And so not only is it affecting you, your thoughts, it's affecting you, your physicality, and also your actions. So basically what we're going to be doing is switching these negative thoughts to more positive thoughts, and what we call them is coping thoughts. And what we're going to be doing is basically figuring out how to track these negative thoughts that you have that are affecting you a lot, and switch them to learn to stop them, and learn to switch them to more positive, self-enhancing thoughts. And what this is going to do for you is just changing the overall way you think. It just has a big impact on just our lives, just on ourselves. So that's why it's even though it may not seem like it, because you're just what you're experiencing, and it feels so real, you may not think that just the way you think affects it, but it has a big impact. Is this something you'd be interested? Would you be okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect. All right. So the first step of this process is I'm going to be I want to know what are some of you so your main concern last time was that you basically had a breakup, and it had just had a very negative effect on you. It drained you as an individual, and what you told me is that you want to go back to yourself, and then do what you used to like to do. And so just the thought of you when you broke up with your boyfriend, your ex-fiance, what feelings do you get from it when you think about?
I feel like I lost myself, like I'm worthless, and I feel like I'm just not good enough.
Okay, you feel like you're not good enough. What makes you think you're not good enough?
Because like my breakup, I feel like it really affected me. Like I feel like he probably didn't like me because I didn't even like myself.
Okay, so you feel like it just had a big. Yeah, it could have been that maybe he did you feel like maybe he didn't like you, or maybe it could have been just the way you feel about yourself. But do you have any evidence? Do you have any proof that you are not worthless, or that's
No, I feel like that's just something that I tell myself.
yeah?
Just because sometimes makes me feel like better for me to say those thoughts.
Okay, I see. It makes you feel better. It makes you just. How does it make you feel better?
I feel like if I call myself like that names, like even like being worthless, I feel like I deserve that because of the breakup.
Oh, okay. So, I just want to point out something to you. You said you feel like you deserve it, and you're putting the blame on yourself. And I just want to bring up to you this triangle. It's called the cognitive triangle, and I basically wanted to introduce to you just to give you an understanding of how just the way you're thinking about yourself and feeling just affects you overall. So basically, you have your thought of feeling you're saying to yourself, I'm not good enough, or it's my fault. And that when you feel like when you say to yourself that that it's your fault, you tend to how do you normally feel when that happens?
I actually feel even worse.
You feel worse. So your thought of not being good enough and or blaming yourself for what happened makes you feel worse, makes you feel even more sad, more down. Okay. And if you notice that just the way you feel about yourself also affects your behavior. So what happens when you tend to start feeling sad again?
I usually just I don't want to do anything. I lose energy, and I just lay on the bed and I don't even fall asleep. I'm basically wasting my time.
Okay. So you feel like you're wasting your time, and it's affecting you very negatively. Yeah. Like, so it not only does it affect your thoughts and even your behavior itself, just the behavior, though the actions you make, sometimes it even affects the way you're feeling. So sometimes you may do something and it make you even sadder. And so it's like an ongoing process. Like a thought can affect the way you feel, a thought can affect an action, and a feeling that you have, a behavior that you have can affect your thought process. So one of the behaviors was, for instance, you break up. The behavior was really a rough patch for you because it was a rough patch for you. It made you feel very hurt, and it made you think that you were worthless and that you were that it's your fault. So do you see the connection that I'm trying to make?
Yes.
Yeah. So with this being said, I just wanted to explain how your thoughts and the thought process that you have, it really does affect the way you feel. And then so it could be, there's sometimes like I had said earlier, it affects not only our emotions, it affects the way we feel physically. So sometimes when someone has depression, they may feel like symptoms of being tired all the time. Like you said, you feel really tired, you don't have energy, you don't even want to talk to people. And when you do feel like that, what's going on in your head? What do you have in your mind? When you feel like, I don't want to talk to people, I just want to be by myself.
I want to start I started avoiding people, and
yeah,
it even affected the situation has been affecting like my father too, since I don't have time to take care of him.
Yeah. Okay. So that's just part of the process too. Like you're struggling to take care of your father, just because. Just the emotions themselves is just very hard for you. So part of this process is I want you to understand that these thoughts, that they're automatic. Sometimes we can't control them. Sometimes they're basically in our unconscious, so we don't even realize we have them. Our thoughts go like that, and we have so many that we don't even. Sometimes we don't realize that how much effect they have on us, and that's why I want you to first realize like, I have these thoughts. Now, what can we do to change these thoughts? And what we can do is we can change these negative thoughts to coping thoughts. So just to give you an idea what coping thoughts are, it's basically like a more positive, like a self-enhancing, more supportive thought that isn't gonna hurt you like a negative thought would. It's supposed to help you understand the situation from a different way of viewing it, so that when you are thinking these thoughts, when you're feeling worthless, instead of thinking that because you're feeling sad, instead of thinking worthless, instead of thinking you're worthless, you are able to change it to something more positive. So something like, okay, let's say we have the thought, it is my fault that we broke up. There's different ways of changing a thought like that. I would like to practice some self-coping thoughts with you, so that just to see if you have like an understanding of them. So I'll just give you an example of a self. Let's say I'm going to a job interview, and I am very nervous, very anxious, because I'm really scared that I'm going to fail. I'm going to do really bad. There's a negative thought. I'm going to fail. So those are the thoughts that we have, and we can think of an alternative of other types of coping thoughts in situations like that. We can think them before the event even happens. We can say something like, instead of thinking like, oh, I'm going to fail, think of something more positive, like, I'm going to do good. And even just the thought of that like that can really change your overall mood and make you feel a little bit more confident. Is that making sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so that's why it's important to kind of switch, going on to the next step. That's why it's really important to switch from a self-defeating thought to a self-enhancing thought, so that you can be able to basically view the situation differently, and then also feel different about the situation. So what my goal, and my hope that we'll be able to do is that whenever we are done, is throughout this, my goal for this whole these months that we're going to be together, and hopefully yours too, is for us to be able to have you think of these thoughts automatically. So instead of you struggling to think of way of changing it, you are able to do it automatically. Just like you have those negative automatic thoughts, you'll be able to have positive automatic thoughts. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So I would like for you to for us to practice some of of changing these thoughts. So when we can do one of the thoughts like you explained. You said that it is my fault that this breakup happened. It is my fault. How can you change that thought to a more positive coping thought? It is my fault. What would you think? What would be an example?
Maybe like it's not my fault that the breakup happened.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good start.
Or also like the breakup will make me more stronger.
Okay. Yeah. All right. That's a good start. I really like that. And I really like that for the first one. It's like, it is not my fault. That's a thought, self-enhancing thought that you can say before, like, oh, that you say during. It's not my fault, like that. During the at the present. And then like after the event, it's really good to say the one, can help you be a better person. So there's different ways of taking these thoughts. You can say it before, during, or after. And I really like that you have one during and then you have one after already.
Mm-hmm.
So let's think of an example when you're feeling really tired and a friend calls you and you don't want to hang up. Your thought is, I'm really boring now. How can we change that thought from I'm really boring now to something more positive?
I have maybe like I will do something productive.
Okay. Yeah. See, that's a positive statement, and it also has like a task, like it says that you're going to be doing something. Okay, so that's good. I'm glad that you're able to kind of think about how to change the negative thoughts to a more positive thought. So that's a start. So do you understand how the process works?
Yeah.
Okay. And I forgot to show this to you earlier. Sorry, but I just wanted to show you that sometimes what we do is we have these automatic thoughts that we're switching. Sometimes they're automatic in the sense that there's certain ways of thinking. Like one is blaming others or blaming yourself, and what you tend to do is blame yourself. And in this case, you're blaming yourself for the situation, something that happened. And so we're gonna go from blaming yourself to seeing a more realistic way of looking at it. It's not my fault. So does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. So now that we are able to introduce these coping thoughts, and you are able to switch it from a negative to a positive thought, our next step is for you to be able to praise yourself and give yourself credit for being able to make this change, because it's not easy to make this type of change, especially when you're feeling really down and you are experiencing all these just emotions. It's just not easy to switch a thought like from a negative to a positive. So you need to give yourself credit for it. So by doing so, after you've accomplished this, like you just did right now, you change one of your thoughts. It's important to give yourself credit, as in say something good to yourself, like a pat in the back, but something. What would you say to yourself? Something positive. To give yourself credit for your work.
I did it, and like another one could be like I feel much better after I'm feeling better now.
Okay, that's really good. That's really good. And just keep in mind, whenever you do this change of thought process, it's important to give yourself that credibility, because you did it by yourself, and sometimes other people are not going to be able to be there for you when you have to change these thoughts. So it's important to acknowledge your work. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Great. So thank you once again for coming today. Before we go, I'd like to give you this assignment for you, if it's okay with you. It won't take long. It's just basically, I just would like for you to write down again some of your negative thoughts. So I want you to write them down. Also, some of your positive thoughts. So both your negatives and positives. You can do this once a day, once or twice a day. It's fine, just until the next session. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over these thoughts, and then we're going to be switching the negative thoughts to positive thoughts. And the positive thoughts, we're going to analyze them and just see how you're able to think something positive, and how we can basically, if you're able to come up with these positive thoughts, we can definitely change these other negative thoughts.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.